It's 10 p.m. in Banjul. This is the news for the headlines. President Jammeh Babili Mansa formally receives the 3 high-profile awards presented to him during the course of 2015. All eyes on the New Year babies as nurses and expecting mothers wait in calm anticipation of the 2016 deliveries. Glad tidings for the health delivery system as a New Year package in the form of ambulances to key health centers in the country unveiled at the State House grounds. The Sheikh Abdullah Charitable Foundation make a strategic intervention by providing a water tank to end Jahanka village water scarcity. And with mixed feelings, European New Year revelers ought to stay indoors and cancel public parties as looming terror threats grow louder. These and other stories coming ahead in this half hour. I am MOMODOU NJIE. His Excellency, the President of the Republic of the Gambia, Sheikh Professor Alhaji Dr. Yahya AJJ Jammeh Babili Mansa, GMRG, FAAICL, is pleased to declare tomorrow, Friday, January 1st, 2016, as public holiday throughout the Gambia in observance of the New Year. The President and the entire First family wish all Gambians, both at home and abroad, and friends of the Gambia, a happy and prosperous New Year. The President has been recounting the remarkable gains made by his administration in 2016. His Excellency Sheikh Professor Alhaji Dr. Yahya AJJ Jammeh Babili Mansa was making the recollection whilst delivering his traditional New Year message to the citizenry. Here is an excerpt.
I thank the Almighty Allah for giving me the opportunity once more to witness yet the dawn of another New Year. May the Almighty Allah welcome us in 2016 with His continued blessings and benevolence and provide us with the strength, good health, wisdom, perseverance and faith for us to be able to consistently contribute positively to the development of our beloved nation, the Islamic Republic of the Gambia. Thanks to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the year 2015 has been associated with remarkable and significant milestones in our quest to transform the Gambia into a highly developed country, God willing. Our performance in the implementation of the 2015 MDGs has been impressive. We have made significant progress in reducing poverty. Some education-related targets have been surpassed, some health-related targets met, and we are on track and have registered appreciable inroads towards the attainment of the rest of the targets. The highest points of this cluster of achievements have been the reduction of hunger and malnutrition from 13.3% in 1992 to less than 5% in 2015, and the availability of clean potable water to over 80% of the population. These levels of performance warranted the receipt of prestigious awards of excellence from the FAO and the AU respectively. Our efforts in the maintenance of peace and security, both nationally and in the sub-region and beyond, have also again been lauded with a Golden Star Award by the African Security Watch. Similarly, our Pan-African perspective, which upholds the primacy of respect and dignity of the African and reliance on our own human and material resources for the development of the continent, has, as usual, been commended by progressive forces that subscribe to the conviction that Africa's development and destiny rest in the hands of the Almighty Allah in particular, and the Africans in general, both in the continent and the diaspora. As we welcome the year 2016, I wish you all the best, and may the Almighty Allah cleanse our hearts of evil intentions and join us together for our common good. May He put faith, tawhid and iman in our hearts for us to believe in Him alone and worship Him alone. If all of us live by these godly virtues, the Islamic Republic of the Gambia would be transformed beyond anyone's imagination in terms of human development and economic prosperity for all of us, inshallah.
President Jammeh Babili Mansa there delivering his New Year message. The President, His Excellency Sheikh Professor Alhaji Dr. Yahya J.J. Jammeh Babili Mansa, this afternoon received 3 awards collected on his behalf by the Vice President and Minister of Women's Affairs and the Health Minister and Social Welfare at the State House. The awards are in recognition of his exceptional leadership qualities and financial as well as moral support to the representative of Sierra Leone, or Republic of Sierra Leone rather, during the Ebola outbreak. The awards add to the growing list of accolades that have bestowed on the Gambian leader by international organizations and institutions for his development and Pan-African stance. We have more in this report by MOMODOU.
The brief ceremony held at the Cabinet Room at State House was chaired by the Secretary General and Head of the Civil Service, Suleiman Samba. Honorable Umar C., Minister of Health and Social Welfare, was the first to present the prestigious Excellence Award conferred on Professor Jammeh by his Sierra Leonean counterpart, His Excellency Ernest Bai Krumah, for his fraternal, financial and moral support during the deadly Ebola outbreak in the West African country. Minister C. thanked the Gambian leader for the opportunity to receive such a prestigious award on his behalf.
We were the first person to give donation to Sierra Leone. Even though we didn't want it to be announced, but it paved the way for the international community to start giving donations and assistance to that country during those difficult moments. And the head of state also asked me to tell you that you are the only head of state awarded for outstanding support to Sierra Leone during the Ebola crisis in very difficult moments.
Then followed the presentation of 2 more awards by the Vice President and Minister of Women's Affairs, Her Excellency Ajah Dr. NJIE Sedi, which was conferred on Professor Jammeh by US-based NGO Africa Security Watch.
They are a special organization that stand for African leadership, because they know that other people would not do that. So they stand for African leadership. In that standing for African leadership, they discovered that His Excellency the President is a real Pan-Africanist who is concerned about the dignity of Africa. He is concerned about the dignity, but he wants Africa to be respected. He said we would only reciprocate if we are given equal respect. And he's one of the few heads of state who are willing to sacrifice and stand for Africa.
The Golden Star Award and the Medal of Honor Award were conferred on Professor Jammeh in recognition of his outstanding leadership qualities and Pan-African stance, which makes him stand out amongst his peers. Both awards were received by Vice President Dr. Yahya Sedi at an award ceremony in Houston, Texas, in the United States of America.
They're really appreciative of His Excellency's stand. First of all, as an expert in security. Secondly, as a head of state, he's been leading and ensuring that there's peace and stability, not just in the Gambia, but in the whole of Africa. Because we have all heard his statements where he said security will be his priority, because without security, everything else should be forgotten. Because before you talk about development, and you must sleep in peace. And he gives a lot of prominence to that. He's always said, as far as the security of the Gambia or anywhere else is concerned, he wouldn't change it for anything else.
The Gambian leader, His Excellency Professor Alhaji Dr. Yahya Jammeh Babili Mansa, equally expressed appreciation to the Sierra Leonean President and the Africa Security Watch NGO for the awards, saying his actions were purely motivated for the sake of Allah. At the time when Sierra Leone was struggling to contain the deadly Ebola outbreak all on its own, Professor Jammeh argued it was imperative that as Africans, we should show solidarity in keeping with our age-old traditions to always help when one of us was in need.
For the first weeks and up to a month I've been observing, and all the West could say is just make it negative look more. You know, they terrorize people about what is going to happen, how many people are going to die. But they just ended at making the situation more alarming, but not proffering any solutions to the problem. But most of the time when Africans are in distress, a lot of people take pleasure in it. I say, okay, let me see what they're going to do. And nothing was being done. I say, okay, if I wait any longer, more people are going to die. At least let us show these people that we Gambians care. I didn't do it on my own behalf alone as president of this country, but I did it on behalf of all Gambians and all Africans, because originally this was what the culture of Africans were. That no matter how small you may have or how limited you are in terms of resources, if a neighbor is in distress, you will be the first person to come and say, at least give him support, moral support and whatever.
Professor Jammeh described the world as one big human family. We should put God and humanity above material wealth. The president was also very proud of his country and its people, adding that there is a lot the world can learn from us.
Do what is right for the sake of Allah, and Allah will reward you where you least expect it. Whatever I'm doing it because it's a duty. I'm not doing it to have a name or earn awards. I believe that humanity can live in a better world. And the better world we're talking about can only be brought about by we, the human beings. When we change our hearts and our mindset and relegate materialism to a tertiary level and put the Almighty Allah primary and our neighbors and ourselves. Alhamdulillah, what is happening in the Gambia should be a lesson to other people. And so I always tell people, we are not calling ourselves the Smiling Coast because we want that title, but we are the actual Smiling Coast where the smile is genuine.
The president, however, urged Gambians to strive harder in order to attain even greater milestones, describing every award as a challenge. Professor Jammeh has received numerous awards over the last 21 years from notable organizations and institutions across the world for his outstanding commitment to the Gambia and the world. His desire for a peaceful and developed Africa has endeared him to countless individuals and organizations across the continent who look up to him as a great Pan-Africanist who defends the rights and dignity of Africans anywhere they are.
May we therefore conclude this session with a rapturous standing ovation in honor of His Excellency the President.
MOMODOU Jallow, Grts News.
The heads of the three main Christian denominations in the country have also been reflecting on the coming year, with the head of the Catholic Church focusing on mercy. Bishop-elect James A.Y. Odiko of the Anglican Diocese of the Gambia is meanwhile urging the faithful to walk in the name of the Lord Jesus. Bishop Hannah Caroline Falhem, presiding bishop of the Methodist Church, the Gambia, meanwhile, is calling for a renewal of lives.
Each year, on the first day of January, the whole world tries to celebrate a World Day of Peace. This year, we also, Catholic Church, celebrate a Year of Mercy, which was launched in Rome on the 8th of December by His Holiness Pope Francis. This theme was chosen in the light of the profound concern for the future of the world in which all of us live. On the 24th of May last year, Pope Francis communicated this concern in a special letter which was addressed to all peoples and nations of goodwill. This letter turns our attention to the urgent need to respect and to care for our common home as one human family.
Every new year, we reflect on the past year, recognizing our successes and our areas for improvement, not just in our own lives, but also throughout the world. Some would be thinking about the things they ought to have done or not to have done. Some would be suffering from grief and shock as they remember their loved ones who have died in the past year or over the years. Some would be proud and comfortable in what they have achieved, while some continue to struggle to achieve their goals. Some would have added new enemies or new friends to their existing ones in the past year. Whichever way it is for us, we can give thanks to God and look to Him to renew our lives, to warm our hearts and to give us light in our minds and to comfort us that we may pass the new year in joy and faith.
By God's infinite mercy and love, He has seen us through from the 1st of January to 31st of December 2015. May He be worshipped, honored, and adored as we now look forward to celebrate the new year 2016. Let us share a short story with you. The story is told of a woman who cleaned the same office building for many years. When asked how she enjoyed the drudgery of doing the same chores day in, day out, she replied, "It's not drudgery. I'm working for the King, and He is pleased, along with others, when I do my best." This woman found the secret to meaningful work. How about you? Are you willing to start back to work with a fresh mind and a renewed spirit in the new year 2016? Even if you are not doing exactly what you want to do, especially during these past years of unemployment. Each of us who are employed need to be thankful to Almighty God, and so we should make sure that when we work, we do it all in the name of the Lord Jesus.
Each year on
the heads of the three main Christian denominations in the Gambia, they are delivering their traditional New Year messages. Meanwhile, all roads are leading to the country's main referral hospitals for the birth of the new year babies. For the first time in the history, the first reported babies delivered in Bansang, Biam, Farafenye, Sarakunda, Jammeh Foundation for Peace Hospital and the Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital will receive a healthy package from the Operation Save the Children's Foundation, spearheaded by the First Lady, Madam Zainab Yahya Jammeh. In a bid to sound the opinion of the various stakeholders, Farmer Kanye went to the Sarakunda Hospital to find out how the nurses are preparing for the New Year deliveries.
See, we are doing the preparations, and there are a lot of patients right now on labor. And when I just spoke to the nurse in charge, the midwife, she told me that they are expecting some of them to deliver exactly by 12 o'clock. So we are hopeful that we will get at least one of them to deliver by that time. In the previous years, it has always been Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital, But this year we anticipate that this time at least Sarakunda General Hospital will be in the forefront to have the first baby of the year, 2016.
There are a lot of chances we will win this one. Yes, 2016. If God wills, we will be the first win.
All the hospitals are competing. Who wins for the coveted prize will be very clear by 12 o'clock midnight.
Views of nurses at the Sarakunda Hospital speaking to our reporter, Farmer Kanye, ahead of the New Year baby deliveries. The Vice President, Her Excellency Ajah Dr. Aissatou Njie Sedi, on Thursday presided over the presentation of 8 ambulances donated by the Gambian leader to the Ministry of Health and Social Welfare and the Gambia Armed Forces at the State House grounds. As Buba SMCC reports, the Gambia Armed Forces received 5 ambulances for their health centers across the country and 3 ambulances to the Ministry of Health and Social Welfare for Pakaliba, Njau and Sabi health centers.
This gesture accorded to the Ministry of Health and Social Welfare and the Gambia Armed Forces by His Excellency, Sir Professor Alhaji Dr. Yahya Jammeh Babili Mansa, on Wednesday was presided over by Her Excellency, the Vice President, Ajah Dr. Aissatou Njie Sedi, who also doubles as Chair of the Security Council. The Ministry of Health and Social Welfare received 3 ambulances for Pakaliba, Njao, and Sabi Community Health Centers, and the Gambia Armed Forces received 5 ambulances for their military health centers. The Minister of Health and Social Welfare and the Chief of Defense Staff of the Gambia Armed Forces expressed gratitude to the President for the generosity and assured him of proper utilization of the ambulances.
His commitment to the welfare of both the security and civilians. This ambulance is definitely, as a health minister, I was so jealous that I thought they were going to give us all. But knowing the quality of ambulances, knowing how good they are, and the roadworthiness and all the equipment inside, I think he did justice and giving to the right person.
His Excellency is full of surprises. The Gambia Armed Forces Medical Corps, as the Minister has rightly said, is not only focusing on the welfare and then health of the military personnel or security personnel alone. He is very much aware that we treat and help a lot of civilians as well. That we will hold it firmly in our hands and ensure that they last long.
Her Excellency, the Vice President, Dr. Aissatou Njie Sedi, equally thanked the President for what she calls the usual benevolence. She stresses the need for maintenance of the vehicles.
We want to thank him most profoundly this time around, also for helping the health facilities, particularly in URR, CRR, and LRR, because these are the 3 areas, Sabi, Njao, and Pakalinba. These are the 3 areas that are going to benefit from the ambulances, but also for assisting the Gambia Armed Forces with 5 ambulances. I think it's unprecedented, 5 ambulances at the same time, brand new. His Excellency the President, since 1994, kept his word. He said health is his priority, and he's not only said it, but he's practiced it. He made sure that he provided the facilities that are needed, the equipment that are needed, the services that are needed in the health sector, and today we have one of the best health delivery systems in the Gambia, in the region, I mean. We should be concerned about maintenance, because it's a waste of resources to put in very nice structures only for them to dilapidate in 1 year or 2, because we don't maintain them. And maintenance is less expensive compared to breakdown. When there's a breakdown, it's very expensive.
It's the latest gesture according to the Ministry of Health and Social Welfare and the Gambia Armed Forces by His Excellency Sir Professor Dr. Yahya Jammeh Babili Mansa, as a fulfillment of the pledge he made to the people during his recent Meet the People tour to enhance the health sector for the improvement of livelihoods of Gambians. Buba SMCC, GRTS.
The Gambia Armed Forces were the crown champions of the first ever marathon championship, spearheaded by President Jammeh Babili Mansa. The event, graced by the Vice President and Minister for Women's Affairs with senior government officials, is meant to promote the health and physical well-being, thus instill the spirit of camaraderie among security forces.
It is the maiden edition of the Armed Forces Marathon Championship, organized under the auspices of His Excellency the President, Chair Professor Alhaji Dr. Yahya AJJ Jammeh Babili Mansa. The 34-kilometer race began at the Gambia College in Birkama, running along the Westfield-Birkama Highway down to the July 22nd Square in Banjul. The contestants, numbering 160, were drawn from 8 security services, all competing for a trophy and the $1 million pledged by Babili Mansa. This event, the first of its kind spearheaded by President Jammeh, is meant to promote health and physical well-being, as well as building the spirit of camaraderie and understanding among service personnel.
The aim of this competition is multifaceted. It will assist the armed and security services to achieve and maintain the highest possible standards of physical fitness. In doing so, develop unit morale and esprit de corps in the services. It will also develop teamwork, skills, and agility relating directly or indirectly to the task performed by the services.
Speaking on behalf of President Jammeh, the Permanent Secretary, Minister of Defense, hammered home the significance of the event as an important facet of military organization.
You would note that from historic times, dating back to Greek civilization, Sports has always been a facet of military organization and is an aspect of strength, might, and physical fitness in society, in centers of learning, and in military establishments. As we talk about healthy minds in healthy bodies, there is a valid assertion that keeping fit through sports is a requirement for efficient and effective physical performance, be it at the workplace, the arena, or in the battlefield.
The permanent secretary further noted that the event signifies a gesture of camaraderie that will also guarantee the security personnel loyalty, discipline, and unity in the execution of their duties.
The joy of competing and winning is very reassuring in military and security leadership. We perform to win, and we win to depict our strength and might in delivering our military duties to the community and the nation at large.
The Gambia Armed Forces were later crowned as the overall winners of the Marathon Championship and was awarded a trophy and cash prize of $500,000, followed by the Gambia Police Force with $250,000, the Gambia Immigration Department with $100,000, and the Gambia Prison Service with $75,000. The individual winners for the male category were Sambaba of the Gambia Police Force, who received $15,000, Labour Badge Sambo of GAF with $10,000. Winners of the female category was awarded to Mariama Tijal of Gambia Police Force, who was awarded $15,000. The rest of the participants from 4 to 8 positions were each given an amount of $1,000. The event, which marks the last significant activity of the security service, is anticipated to be an annual program that will in no small measure create an opportunity for service personnel to interact in an atmosphere of camaraderie, mutual understanding, and respect. Reporting for Grts News, I am Aissatou Keita.
The sprawling settlement of Jahanka village in the Central River region is basking in the limelight thanks to a coordinated effort to end their water-related challenges. Ibrahim Balde was in the village to witness the first water facility provided by the Sheikh Abdullah Jah Charitable Foundation.
Well, water is an essential commodity of life. Suffice it to say that every living being needs water for their existence. However, there are thousands of people living around the world who are finding it difficult to get to clean drinking water. Here in Janjanbureh, these people are at least lucky to have the River Gambia by their side. However, those living along Janjanbureh also have difficulties getting to clean drinking water. Some people go to the extent of digging boreholes to tap clean drinking water.
More than 12 kilometers from our vantage position lies Jahanka village, a community that has been struggling to have access to enough clean drinking water for survival until help came in another way. With water containers stuck on the ground, residents of this sprawling Wolof-speaking community are trying to cope with the new development thanks to the combined intervention of several stakeholders. For many years, the impact of drought and water scarcity has had adverse effect on lives and livelihood. They arrived in Jahanka like royalty. The whole community responded to the call of the village elders to welcome the guests from Banjul. Members of the Sheikh Abdullah Jah Charitable Foundation, accompanied by the governor of Central River Region, returned to Jahanka to deliver on their promises and take part in the unveiling of the village first water borehole. This woman explained how the situation was in the past, having to juggle through the day with little or no water. She said, every other speaker made reference to the past and how the Sheikh Abdullah Jah Charitable Foundation bailed them out of a great necessity. Jahanka has long been earmarked for a borehole. Water Focal Point Officer Yaya Job explained his institution's involvement in this philanthropic venture and the significance of the borehole to the community.
Since the community have this project, we are very happy. They are very pleased to say a big thank you to the foundation, because over the years the community of Jahanka were struggling to have clean, safe drinking water supply. But today, as we speak, you can see from them, everybody is happy in the community, saying that this is a milestone for them.
A senior member of the foundation, Alhaji Usman Jah, said their intervention was purely meant to complement national development endeavors and use the opportunity to point out the vital need to have access to clean drinking water at all times. Since they began operation in 2004, the Sheikh Abdullah Jah Charitable Foundation has been dishing out vital assistance to several communities across the length and breadth of the country. The humanitarian institution has so far made a mark in the area of health and the construction of boreholes in key settlements in provincial Gambia.
Sheikh Abdullah Charitable Foundation, as I said, is an organization, is an NGO established to complement the government work in the field of medical services and in the field of social services. In medical services, we've been running this mobile medical crown for the 11 years, and we have covered all the region in the Gambia.
Ibrahima Balde, Grts News.
And before we take leave of you, a recap of the day's main stories. President Jammeh Babili Mansa has formally received the 3 high-profile awards presented to him during the course of 2015. A year in review, GRTS has been recapping some headline-making stories that left the audience with meaningful lessons in 2015. The Sheikh Abdullah Jah Charitable Foundation make a strategic intervention by providing a water tank to end Jahanka village water scarcity. And with mixed feelings, European New Year revelers ought to stay indoors and cancel public parties as looming terror threats are growing louder. Well, from the entire team here in GRTS, we wish you a happy 2016.